Okay, so I've been having a problem with my Classic Mini in that if it's sat for a month or so and I go out to drive it, it doesn't start well unless I spray some starting fluid in with the air. So I know that it's not getting gas. And the problem is these float valve needles are sticking in the seats in one or both of the carburetors. So usually I have to go in and remove the cover, pull that needle out. Sometimes I can tap on it to get it to loosen, but a lot of times that doesn't do it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to switch over to these new Austin Mini Grose jet float. So I'll show you what those are about. There is the part number. It's got a ball instead of this needle and seat, so I'm hoping that that won't stick as easily. So what I'm going to do first here is remove this hose, remove these three screws here, one on the back, to take the cover off, and then I'm going to take that hose clamp off and just pull that whole cover off of this side of the carburetor float assembly. Okay, so there's a perfect example of what's happening. You can see that that's the needle right there. That should be resting down on this float lever since the float's down. When the float chamber is full, it lifts the float up, closes that needle, but as the gas gets used up, the float sinks and that needle's supposed to follow it. See if I can get it there. There, I just knocked it loose. So now it's performing like it should, but oops, get it. Doesn't usually get that empty. But that's why that's how it should work. But when it sticks up in there, that's why it's not getting gas. So what I'm going to do is remove this pin and take the float out of the way, then I can remove that brass seat and needle. So in order to get that pin off, I use these channel locks just to get it started. There's a knurled end on this side here and a smooth end, so I'm going to just push that smooth end, squeeze it through. There we go. Okay. So it's an 11/32 socket. And there it's out. So, you know, they say you can look for some kind of a wear, and I guess I do see a little bit of wear on that needle. It's like the very tip of it is a little skinnier, so there's a ridge around the top, and that's where that sits into that seat there. So I guess it's got maybe a little ridge there that catches all the time. I don't know, I haven't found any gas additive that keeps that from happening. I think it's just a mechanical wear. So the new one has this ball. Shouldn't get any wear on a piece like that. It's got this washer. I played around with the first one. I feel like the washer does put it closer to the correct height. Not much to grab onto there to get it started. Gently turn it there. Okay. Oh, I'm going to take this old gasket off. I took this opportunity just to get a new set of gaskets too, because I had the other one that broke. Oops. This one's going to break too. So I've got a new gasket that I'll put on. Then reattach the float. Give it another squeeze with these channel locks to kind of press it in there. Then you can see that's wide open, that's closed, and that's where that closes is pretty close to the original. I measured 4 millimeters from the center of this to the top or the bottom side of that cover when it was in the closed position. That's pretty close to where this is, so I'm going to leave that one just like it is, and I can bend that lever arm. I can bend this arm right here to raise or lower that float when it's in its closed position. If I feel like it's not getting enough gas, then I'm going to bend it so that the float gets up higher before it shuts that valve off.